Can we pay you to come in just to sell?
Alrighty, welcome to the Achievement College Podcast, Episode 2. I'm your host, Aussie Gamer 17. You can call me Aussie, and joining me today is my co-host, Fox Plays Official. How you going, Fox?
Guys, it's Fox Plays here. What's going on?
Welcome, mate. Welcome. Okay, guys, here on the Achievement College Podcast, we are going to cover all the latest in the world of achievement hunting and trophy hunting. Yes, that's right. And achievements and trophies. We don't discriminate here. They both give us that amazing feeling when we hear that sweet, sweet sound. You know the one I'm talking about. Fox does it again. We also talk about some of the big video game news from around the world and cover the latest releases and games coming to Xbox Game Pass, Games with Gold, and PS Plus. But before we get into that, let's talk about what we've been playing, Fox. I love this segment. This is my favorite segment usually, apart from maybe some of the big news. But what have you been playing, Fox? Let's start with your first game.
All right, first game is Streets of Rage 4. Absolutely loving it. I walked into it like I'm a huge fan of the original trilogy. It's one of my favorite Mega Drive games. Sega Genesis, if you live in America. Huge fan. I was initially scared because you need to get S rank on all the levels, and I did the game on hard, and I can finish the second game without dying. This fourth game kicked my ass, but I got good.
It's
eventually kept playing it. I've got 6 S ranks now. I'm having so much fun. It's been such a rewarding experience just getting good at the game. Like I've had one of the best beat 'em ups ever made.
Yeah, you
absolutely love it.
Best beat 'em ups ever made. That's a big call.
One of them, absolutely one of them.
Yep. Nice. I've obviously played it as well. I've actually enjoyed watching you play it, and you have get good. You've been getting good.
People have been coming to my channel and they remember the first day, and then they remember now. I'm like, whoa, you've gotten like way better. I'm like, yeah. I gotta get good.
You have to get good to get anywhere near the plat. Am I right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. And are you close to the plat?
I'm getting close. I've got 6 more S ranks to get, and I've got to grind up 5 million points. But honestly, by the time I've redone the level over and over again to get the S rank, I should probably almost be there.
So it might not actually be any end game grind if you sort of do everything else that's required.
Because do everything else, honestly, guys, like by the time you get good and finish the level every single of the main characters from the base game, and then done all the done one of each of the original casts from the original Mega Drive trilogy, then should be close to it all.
So let's just cover that. You have to beat the game with each of the base game cast. So I think there's four
the
characters.
game's got is it 5 or 6 main characters?
I thought it was 4, but anyway.
I think it's 5 for each of them to get a trophy.
Yep.
And then you have to do one playthrough of the Streets of Rage 1 characters, Streets of Rage 2, Streets of Rage 3.
So an additional 3 playthroughs.
That's roughly 8 playthroughs right there.
Yeah.
And then they're getting good for S rank. And then there's a playthrough of you have to do arcade mode on like 1 credit clear, so you can't get a game over.
Have you tried that yet?
No, I'm gonna focus on getting S rank so that way I've mastered every level.
So
but I actually reckon I could probably do it now. I can get
because you're also like on some of the easier levels where you won't lose a level, you'll gain lives. I mean,
well, the thing is like to get the S rank, I've noticed that I've gotten so many points on that level that I've actually got 3 lives by the end of it, which has helped me get enough points to get the S rank. So
once you've mastered the S ranks, I reckon you'll breeze through arcade mode.
Yeah,
I look forward to seeing
I was like when I turned the game on, I was like, oh, what have I gotten myself into? Because I've been playing Hollow Knight still, and I actually thought this was as hard as Hollow Knight. But maybe I'm just really good at beat 'em ups. My depth perception and 2D platformers or 2D fighting like that, I'm pretty good at it. So.
Nice. All right.
So I would probably give it an 8 or a 9 just in case.
Out of 10, difficulty-wise? Difficulty? Yeah.
Depending on like your skills, I guess.
Okay. Anything else you would say? Oh, look, I played Streets of Rage 4. I just beat it on normal. I think it was normal. I hope it was normal. And I played around with a few levels on hard and stuff like that. And with everything else that I'm playing at the moment, I put it down and I was like, if I want to ever get good enough for this, it would take me a very long time. I haven't got much beat 'em up experience. I think I could do it. I think I got a B rank was the highest I got, only from a couple of tries. But I reckon I could do it, and I want to do it. It's just I don't have time for it right now.
Yeah, it's fair enough.
Which leads me to my next game, and this is one of the reasons I don't have
time.
Yeah,
I know. Tell me about it.
I am playing Yakuza 0. It has been my first playthrough of Yakuza 0, my first ever experience with a Yakuza game, and I love this game, which is no surprise to most people that know me. I love most games. Whenever I talk about a game, I'm usually praising it. But Yakuza 0, available on Game Pass, and Yakuza Kiwami just hit Game Pass as well. So I'm looking forward to getting to that. But first, I want to 100% Yakuza 0, and it is going to be one of the longest, hardest, and proudest completions I'll ever have, I reckon.
Tell me about it. What do you got to do? I know they're long, hard games. So
Yeah.
what do you got to
So
do?
I got through the story. I went and did a lot of the side stuff while I was going through the story. Like one particular night, I wasn't streaming. I had a night off, and I sat gambling in Yakuza 0. Next thing I know, I'd been doing that for 11 straight hours. So that was 11 hours of my game time, but it all counted towards completion as well. So it wasn't like I was just sitting there passing time. I was actually working on stuff needed for completion. But yeah, I spent 11 hours in one of the casino areas. And by the time I got through the end of the story, I had played over 100 hours of the game. And now what I'm doing when I stream it is just going through looking for all the 100% things. There's all the mini games. I think last night I think you saw it, the Outrun
Yep.
mini game where you actually play the arcade game and you have to
You got to change gears.
Yeah, I didn't even know the button for that at first, but finally got it. I don't think you were there at the end. I finally did get the 5 million points you need for that. The batting mini game is ridiculous.
That looked horrible watching you do that.
It is so hard and so like punishing because you miss one, it's over, and you got to start again. But before I keep going on about that, the story is what got me into this game. The game and the story in this game is just incredible. I felt so many times I felt like I was sitting back because there are some big long cutscenes and things like that. I felt like I was sitting back watching an awesome like foreign movie, Japanese movie, kung fu movie. And so many times that my controller actually went into standby mode and I had to like, do something because there's so many times where I'm not touching the controller. For some people that might turn them off, but I was so engaged in the story that I wasn't even thinking about the controller.
I always like to put the example like Godfather, the trilogy of obviously the Godfather films, the trilogy.
Yep.
It's like because the Godfather movies span across all these years and decades, and of all these like different families and whatnot. It's kind of what Yakuza is kind of like. It's kind of like its own like video game version of Godfather, and I can't wait. Like I'm actually too scared to start Yakuza because one, I'm going to get addicted to it. Two, they take forever, and three, there's so many of them. They just keep coming out.
Big games, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm
And
looking forward to you.
one of the other aspects about it that I really like is that you do get to play as the two main characters. You sort of every couple of chapters when you're going through the story, you change between the two main characters, and they have a unique story all to themselves, basically. And in fact, they don't actually ever meet up, which, spoiler, whoops. I might edit that part out. But yeah, the two characters have like their own unique things that I like about them, and that you get to sort of. There's already so much variety in the gameplay, but then the fact that you're changing between the characters doesn't get annoying either. Other than the fact that you sort of all it does is leave you wanting to find out what happens next. It's like watching a really good.
That's good storytelling.
Exactly.
I love it when a game has multiple characters, and it's okay when like, obviously some games have multiple characters, but like when they make it work in that way, when it makes you get intrigued the story, like how's this gonna all fit in? That's when you get like really pumped. So I'm glad you're enjoying the game as well.
And one other point I'll make about it for those that do want to try it out and those that are interested in platinums and achievement hunting. All you really need to do, play through the story, do your own thing, but keep in mind there's 8 missable achievements that are pretty easy to get as long as you know to look for them. So all you need, if you want to just play through the game and not get anything spoiled, all you need is a list of those 8 missable achievements or trophies, and make sure you get them as you go through the story, and then you can play the game and do whatever you want at your own pace, so you don't have to worry about following any guides or anything like that. So just keep in mind the 8 missable achievements or trophies, and you're going to have a great time with it. All right, what's your next game, Fox?
All right, next, just looking at my notes here. All right, next game was Trials of Mana, which I had so much fun playing. Yeah, just basically, so if you guys don't know, Trials of Mana is a remake of the original Super Nintendo game called Seiken Densetsu 3, which never came out outside of Japan. I did play it on emulator, like a true blue kid that I was. I was obsessed. I had to play every single Japanese game that ever came out in our countries and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I played it hunched over my old 133 megahertz PC back in the day. Hunched over. I finished it back then. I loved it. The new
Mm-hmm.
Trials of Mana, it's very cool. I'll go for the trophies. It's pretty easy. You have to do 3 playthroughs because there's 3 separate final bosses. So just make sure before you start the game, remember who you picked, and then make sure that when you replay the second time and the third time that you obviously pick the other
So
the
make sure
other
you get tick
set
all
of two
three
characters
off.
and the other set of 2 characters so that you fight the 3 separate final bosses.
Yeah.
Um, the cool thing about the game is on your first playthrough, you just play through the game normally. Nothing is missable in theory because you have to play the game 3 times anyway. The collectible is really easy. You have to find this cactus guy, and the cool thing about this cactus is that every 5 times you collect this cactus, he gives you a reward, and the rewards are actually pretty cool.
Okay.
One of the rewards is actually 3 times experience points randomly, so helps boost those grinds. So it cuts the grind down, which has been I really love
A
when
collectible that rewards you
yeah, like
is
I
gold.
don't do that many. Or like I was actually talking about the other day, Spider-Man. I love the backpack collectible because it gave you a bit of Spider-Man lore,
Yeah,
which
okay,
like
I heard
which is
about that. It has story elements to
that
each
that,
collectible.
that
Yeah.
collectible's cool, but the street crimes they can go in the bin. I hated that. Anyway, back to Trials of
Yeah,
Mana.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so collectibles that reward. Play through the game 3 times. The game's not hard at all. You can put it on easy, play it through. You can put it on hard if you want to challenge yourself. I do want to warn the new people playing the game though. The AI is really bad. Just make sure that when you start the game and you get your 2 party members, just to go to the settings, change the AI a bit, make sure they actually use their abilities. Because if they don't use their abilities, they're pretty much dead weight to you anyway.
Yep, okay, okay. Good tip to
And
check the
and
AI
the other thing I want to
settings.
mention is so people are going, oh no, 3 playthroughs. How long did it take?
Yeah, I
It
was
took
going to ask
me
that.
it took me 55 hours. Now, if I was playing a bit more efficiently and I didn't pause the game to put perv on Angela, yeah, one of the characters is just hot. I couldn't stop perving on her.
I seen ya.
I had to, let's just say if you're efficient and you weren't streaming it, probably about 45 hours. When you
Total
finish the
or
game,
per playthrough?
sorry, so the first playthrough was about 32,
Oh,
and
okay,
then
and then the
playthrough,
rest are shorter.
yeah, way short. So what happens is when you finish the game, unlock an epilogue, you got to get to the end of the epilogue and kill this boss guy. Now, she's pretty tough.
Hmm.
So make sure you're roughly around level 75 to 80 to beat her.
Right.
I'm sure there's some guy who can do it level 1, but I'm not
Yeah,
that guy.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Anyway, you kill her, and then basically what happens is you unlock the ability to restart the game. And when you restart the game, you get to pick your 3 party members again, and you unlock the best ability ever, 3 times experience permanently. So just make sure you
Oh,
equip that ability, go through the game, you level up so much. Don't even fight enemies anymore. Just kill the bosses. The bosses give you so much experience points that you can
good
just
tip.
blitz through it.
Yep, yep. Okay.
Yeah, so it was quick. It was quick. It was a lot of fun as well. I actually had a lot of fun replaying it as the other characters, and then on my final playthrough, actually picking the 3 best party members, the 3 best classes for each of the party members, and just doing some epic damage. I was trying to see how fast I kill each boss in the game. It was a lot of fun.
Cool. Awesome. I remember watching you play some. I didn't get to watch you play enough of it, but I do know you were enjoying it, and you talk highly of the game, so that's good.
Yeah, definitely a fun game. Definitely
Yep.
recommended.
Awesome. Awesome. Anything
Next
else
game,
on
Audie.
that?
No, that's
No.
pretty much it.
Okay.
I've got
I
nothing.
just I just realised none of the games I'm talking about are actually new releases or anything like that. But we'll get to some of that definitely next time. I'm playing some new games over the next couple of weeks, hopefully.
You
Actually,
play
no.
Streets. You play
Actually,
Streets of Rage though. That's
oh
new.
yeah, I did play Streets of Rage 4. Actually, the next big game I'm playing is actually a very old game. I'm playing Final Fantasy 9 starting tomorrow. I
Excellent
will have
game.
already started it by the time this episode comes out, actually. But yeah, I'm looking forward to playing Final Fantasy 9. But what I have been playing is Super Lucky's Tale on Xbox Game Pass, of
I'm
course.
jealous of that. That's a Microsoft exclusive, and then they put it on
I think
Switch.
they
They
put it on
ignored the
Switch, yeah.
PlayStation.
Yeah. It is a cool little. It was made by the Xbox indie program. I forget the name of it.
Oh, cool.
Uh,
Okay.
Oh, geez, I had the name on the top of my head. Anyway, let me know in the comments, guys, what I just forgot. But it is a cool little 3D platformer, massive, massive Nintendo 64 vibes. I just playing it reminded me of playing Banjo Kazooie and Mario. And now I'm not saying it's as good as those games, but there aren't a lot of these games going around that are that
Yeah,
sort of quality.
it's definitely a genre that died when the PS2 and Xbox era was starting to die down, and then
Yeah,
PS3 and 360. There's no
yeah.
good kids games anymore.
Yeah. And I just had a lot of fun with it. Just chill vibes, just playing it. A lot of nostalgia for someone my age. Like, it just felt like I was back in the Nintendo 64 days. What I do wonder, and if this is a reason that they don't make many of these games anymore, if games like that appeal to the new generation, or they only appeal to me because of that nostalgia.
Uh, I remember. I don't know if you want to get this is like an in-depth discussion, but I remember someone actually made a video on YouTube. I got to find it again, but basically they talked about how those children, I guess, kids games, 3D platformers that we played on, I guess, 64, and then onto the next generation, PS2, Xbox, GameCube generation. Um, when they went to the next gen, it's kind of like that like, we're all kids slash teenagers. So by the time the PS3 360 came out, we'll become adults. It's almost like they've put in all those elements of the collecting and stuff into adult games. So
Oh yeah,
that's why you
yeah, I've
got
seen
games
all.
like
Yeah,
that's why you got
Assassin's
games like
Creed and
say Assassin's Creed's got a lot of collectibles, like Infamous, Uncharted,
yeah,
just
yeah.
the thing. They're kind of like open world sandboxes, which those old games kind of were. Banjo-Kazooie technically is a sandbox
Hmm.
game. You walk around a world, get the stuff, finish the level, and that's what they
Yeah.
kind of evolved into those PS3
Similar
360 eras.
similar gameplay mechanics, but into an adult theme.
Correct.
So
That's
they
what
sort
happened.
of
Yeah.
grew with us. But yeah, I guess it still doesn't tell me if those games would appeal to newer kids, like, or if they
Yeah. It's
have to
I
play Fortnite or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. Because the thing is, like, they've been trying to make 3D platformers, and Ukulele came out, the big 3D one, and it was okay. I didn't mind it. I didn't hate like a lot of other people did, and it didn't sell very well. And then they made another ukulele game, but it was 2D. It's supposed to
Yeah,
3D,
yeah. The new
and that
one's
was
apparently
actually
a lot better.
it's way better. And I'm dying to play. Like, I'm actually like
Is it
when I get a
available
chance, I will
on
absolutely play
PS4?
it. It's on PS. It's on all
Okay,
consoles,
yep, yep.
and yeah, so but I just feel like kids these days they just want to play Fortnite, maybe the Lego games, and that's about it. So I don't know. I feel like kids aren't exploring anymore of gaming, whereas I feel like
Hmm.
back then I know some kids back then only played like a handful, like 5 or 6 64 games, but I don't
Yeah.
know. I
Well, I
feel like
think
this day and age,
yeah, go.
just kids are stuck on Fortnite and
Yeah.
Lego if they do try or like yeah stuff like that.
Well, just I'm going to bring it back off that tangent. We
Mm.
could get lost into that
Oh,
for
yeah, sorry.
hours.
I'm
Um,
of a habit of doing that. Sorry.
No worries, no, all good. What I will say about Super Lucky's Tale for those hunters out there is that the base, if you play it on Xbox, obviously, oh yeah, there won't be any trophy hunting going on for this game. It's
Ah,
not
that's okay.
available. But there is actually 2,000 gamer score available for this game. The base 1,000, and then the title updates and DLC bring another 1,000. Now, I didn't play the DLC. What I've done is I've done the base game. I got the 1,000 gamer score, and it probably would take, if you weren't streaming it and talking to chat like I was,
Yeah,
it's about 8 to 10 hours, and it's a good little
pretty
fun
cool.
game.
I like that.
Don't really need any guides or anything to follow. I mean, you might want to look up some of the hidden collectibles, but that's about it. And there is, if you do want to do the DLC and the title updates, there is a really grindy achievement too, where you have to score this certain amount of points or coins or whatever it was, which can be a little bit tricky, a little bit
I was just gonna say
grindy, I guess.
on the DLC front, do they actually add like brand new worlds to it?
Yeah, I think so. Yep, yep.
All right.
Yeah, different, more content, more story, more. It's not just yeah, definitely.
Fair
Um,
enough.
all right, Fox. What's the next game you've been playing,
All
mate?
right. Next game is so these two games I've been working on and off for. So sorry if you guys have already finished them 1,000 times. I haven't yet. So one's Final Fantasy 7 Remake. I'm still playing through it. Finally at the end of the game. I've not been having that much fun with it. I'm not going to make a long video going on about it. If you want to write a
Very,
hateful comment down
very
below, I don't care.
polarizing
Go for it.
opinion,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's your opinion.
Yeah. I think it's a bit disappointing, honestly. It's just grinding and that. But anyway, we're near the end of the storyline. Yeah, I've still got to. So after I finish it, I unlock hard mode, and luckily I've had some lovely people in the chat telling me, what to prepare for, what materials to level up, so that way when I go back to hard mode, I'm well prepared and stuff. And they've told me how to play the game because apparently I've been playing it a little bit butter mashy in a way. But they basically said you've got to use more the defensive abilities, stuff like that, so you don't get worn out and just destroyed by the enemies. All right, cool. So I've started getting into that, and yeah, I don't really have much more to say. Hopefully, on the next podcast, I won't have to talk about it again
Well, you
because I'll
actually
have the
surprised me.
platinum.
I thought you were just going straight onto Hollow Knight.
Oh no.
Do you want to talk
Well,
about that now?
that's my next game. I
Let's
can go
talk
straight
about
to
that.
Hollow
Yeah,
Knight.
let's talk about Hollow Knight.
All right, so yeah, so Final Fantasy 7, finish the game, go into hard. All right, Hollow Knight. Now, we're near the end. We're on the final challenge. So, if you guys don't know the
Pantheon
hard
5?
Pantheon 5. So, if you guys don't know, Hollow Knight, Metroidvania game, has approximately 40 bosses in the game, and
Mm,
about 10 of them are pretty easy, 20ish are medium, and 10 are pretty hard. And there's about 3 or 4 that are like insane
super
difficult.
hard.
Yeah, super hard. Anyway, so this Pantheon 5, you have to
It's
kill
like a
all these bosses.
boss rush mode. Am I
Yeah,
right?
so basically the Team Cherry, they made this as a DLC with a boss rush theme to it because a lot of people love boss rushes.
And it's
And yeah,
included to get the platinum.
yes. So on the
Okay.
PS4 version, now just in case to the people who are Xbox fans out there, the achievement list is actually separate on Xbox and
Yeah.
PS4. So if you are going to play the game, make sure to follow your game list correctly, okay?
Yeah, yeah. Not don't follow a PS4 guide if you're playing it on Xbox and
Yeah,
vice versa.
it's probably the only game I've seen that instance. There
Mm.
might be another game out
Most of
there.
them are
Actually, leave
very,
a
very.
comment down below. Tell me if there's another game where the
Yeah, I'd be
lists are
very
different.
interested to hear. Definitely.
Yeah, but yeah, Hollow Knight's one of the few games. So on the PS4, all you have to do is get 112%, pretty much get all the collectibles. There is no multiple endings. There's no make sure this guy dies, make sure this guy lives. Don't have to worry about that. There's no Iron Man mode. All it is just finish the game 112% and do Pantheon 5, which is still insanely difficult. So
Yeah.
it's been I've been practicing some of the bosses off stream, trying to get good,
Yeah.
trying to get that goodness up. I'm
Mm.
still not ready yet. I'm getting there. But in between Streets of Rage 4, I've been playing a bit more of that. So
Let's.
unfortunately, I've been stuck on playing these get good games. So I'm
I
like,
know
God damn it.
you're in one of those phases now. Let's say, for example, you get good and you get this plat. Where would you rank it in terms of your hardest plats?
Oh, easily the hardest.
Yeah.
So, so to the people in the chat, if you guys want to know what my hardest trophies I've ever gotten, so I've got the Vanquish Platinum, Evil Within 1, and hopefully soon Hollow Knight. And Downwell is also pretty tough as well.
What about
Um,
Dark Souls plats? Have you got any of those?
I've got all of them, but they're pretty. The actual trophies are easy. It's just
Okay.
the game's hard. But
Okay.
I don't know. I
You
just
don't
find.
rank them up there.
Oh no, I
No.
consider like Dark Souls like a or an 8, all of them.
Okay. Okay. No
All right.
worries.
So like Vanquish and Evil Within and Hollow Knight, they're all like 9s and 9.5s on the trophy websites if you follow the numbers score.
Okay, well,
Uh,
guys, if you are a Hollow Knight fan, I do recommend get over to Fox's Twitch channel. You can see it down there, and let's get behind him when he goes for Pantheon 5, guys. Definitely.
I'm sweating. I'm sweating bricks. I can already feel the nerves when I get to the final 4 bosses. Like, oh, I didn't want to think about it.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. So by the way, guys, if you do die, you have to start again. So
yeah.
that's what makes it
Yeah,
hard.
you have
So
to
that's
beat
why.
all, I think it's 42 bosses. You have to beat
Yeah,
them
it's
all
about
without
42.
dying.
About dying.
Crazy.
And the last 4
And there's
bosses
no
are
saves
insane.
or checkpoints. You have to just beat them all.
So you do get a checkpoint where you get your health back. I think the checkpoint happens every 10, something like that. I haven't
Oh, yeah,
memorized
yeah,
it
okay.
yet.
Okay, but,
But
but the checkpoint doesn't matter if you die. If you die, you don't go back to the checkpoint.
no,
You
no,
go
no,
back
no.
to the
You go
start.
back to you go back to 0. You go
Yeah,
back to
exactly.
number 1.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. I want to talk about moving out, which is another
Oh,
Game
nice segue
Pass
there. Moving
game.
on to moving out. I saw that.
Picked up on that one.
Yeah.
I didn't actually do that on purpose, whether you believe that or
Oh,
not.
okay. All right. Cool.
But no,
Unintentional pun. I love it. I
yeah.
love it.
So moving out is another. It's not a new game because it's been on PC, I believe, in the past, but it is new to Xbox. It came to Game Pass. It released onto Game Pass, and it is new to Xbox. It released onto Game Pass, and it is new to Xbox. 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 It and it is a cool game. I've had a lot of fun playing this. I'm still I've completed the game, but I'm still editing and releasing videos for my guide over on my YouTube channel, guys. So check that out. Now, if you don't know what this game is, you got to think Overcooked. Definitely Overcooked art style, and definitely overcooked in the style that you can play co-op, and you've got these controllable little characters. Except instead of cooking, we are putting household items into a truck, which actually sounds boring now that I said that out loud, but it is actually a lot of fun. It's really cool, funny physics.
It's funny.
Yeah, cool little game. Now, it is actually a pretty simple, easy completion because it has this thing in the game called assisted mode, or something I was calling baby mode. You can turn all these easy settings on, and it does not stop you from getting any of the achievements. It just makes them easier. And I definitely recommend turning it on if you're an achievement or trophy hunter. I definitely recommend playing under that way. just to make it easier and a quicker completion.
Have you played it without the assist? Like, is it
Yeah, I've
much
had a couple
harder?
of goes. Definitely harder to get the gold medals
Ah,
because
gold medals.
one of the
Okay.
things that to get a gold medal is you have to beat each level under a certain time.
Yeah.
In baby mode, it pretty much doubles that time, sometimes even more than double. I haven't checked all the levels and what the
Yeah, yeah, of
time
course.
differences are, but definitely makes it a lot easier. And the thing that I found playing on baby mode, I added my own challenge, and you can see it in the videos. What I tried to do wherever possible. So each level has a gold medal and also has 3 side objectives that you don't get told about until you finish the level for the first time.
Okay.
But what I did is I found out about the objectives before beating each level, and I tried to do them at the same time as getting the gold medal. So
I like the self-imposed challenge there.
added an extra challenge to it, but I also made my videos based on that. So hey guys, if you want to get the gold medal and do all the side objectives, this is how you do it.
I'm saving. I love it.
Some levels you can't because 2 of the objectives, like for example, one of the early levels is beat the level without smashing any windows, and one of the other objectives is beat the level smashing all the windows. So you can't do those both in one playthrough. So some levels do require 2, but the overwhelming majority are one playthrough.
Oh,
Um, and yeah, I think it would take someone, if you weren't making a guide and if you were following a guide like mine, it would probably take around 10 hours you could get it done. There is one grindy achievement, but by the time you get to the end and get everything else done, I only
almost
had to
there.
grind for about 10 minutes, I want to say. About
That's not a grind. 10 minutes is nothing.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, when we're talking about the level that I had to grind, I had to play it about 10 times. It takes about 1 minute to do the level. So,
Oh, okay, cool. All
yeah,
right.
it wasn't a big deal. It's just I have seen people complain about it. It's not worth complaining about.
Would you
If
say, Aussie, that if you were getting into like achievement hunting, this would be a good game to start with?
Well, that's a good question. It would depend on your play style and what kind of games you like, really. To I mean,
I was watching. I was like, that looks fun. Like, I'm
it's a
kind of
fun
keen to
game
play it.
for even if you take the achievement or trophy hunting out of that question, then yes. If you're trying to get someone into gaming or you're stuck at home with someone who
Hmm.
doesn't usually game and you want to play a game with them, I think that would be good. The Xbox version only has couch co-op; it doesn't have online co-op.
Hmm.
Um, so it'd be a good thing to try with your significant other or something like that. Definitely.
Yeah.
There has been some talk of some glitched achievements not popping for people. One of the biggest ones or main ones, there is an achievement for beating these 3 levels. There are actually 3 levels in a row. There's 3 levels that have ghosts in them. You have to beat those 3 levels without. There's a mechanic in the game where you slap the ghost to make it let you go. You've got to
Hmm.
beat those 3 levels without slapping the ghost.
Okay.
If you find that that's glitching for you, load it all back up and replay those 3 levels because apparently it is working now. But you will need to replay those levels and play them all one after the other. Don't do anything else in between. Just play the 3 levels. Will only take you like 10 to 15 minutes total, not even. And the achievement should pop. It definitely worked for me, and I've heard some other people have told me it worked for them. So
Cool. All right.
definitely,
As long as they fixed
definitely,
it, that's good.
yeah. All right, I think that's about it in terms of what we've been playing. I want
Yeah.
to move on to the news. We have a lot to talk about, a lot to get through here, Fox. And I want to start with an announcement that just dropped this morning, our time, and that is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and
Hmm.
2 is being remastered, and it's coming this September, on the 4th of September. What are your thoughts so far?
Uh. Oh. I was like, I didn't expect it. I was like, oh, okay, no worries. Um. I'm like partially excited and partially like, why can't they just make a good new Tony Hawk's game? But I know they've tried multiple times. I don't know who is the original team that made the games, or I don't know if they're gone, or what those employees have been doing, but they haven't made a good Tony Hawk's game for ages. So I guess they're getting that. I think this team that's making the remakes isn't it the same team that made the Crash Bandicoot
Correct. Yep.
remake?
Yep. They've
Yeah.
made lots of remakes, and I also heard on the interview as part of the Summer Games Fest that the some of the creators that worked on this remaster actually worked on the early Tony Hawk games back in the
Oh,
day.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I played the Crash Bandicoot remakes, and they did a really good job with them. And so, if they keep that up, then yeah, this Tony Hawk's 1 and 2 remake would be good. I actually think Tony Hawk's is one of the first games I remember playing, and I was a teenager by the time this game came out. It was kind of the time when games were starting to like become more popular with everybody. I kind of feel like it was the game that was bridging between, I guess, the gamers and I guess the
Oh yeah, yeah,
non-gamers.
yeah.
I remember back then, like when I was like a kid, like only like I guess losers and nerds like me were playing games. But then like when
This made
Tony
it
Hawk's,
cool. This made it cool.
yeah, Tony Hawk's made gaming cool, and I
Yeah.
remember all these like kids that would not or teenagers that wouldn't even play games, but oh, I got to skateboarding was the in thing back then. Like everyone wanted to skateboard, and
I was actually into skateboarding when these games came out. I
yeah,
had a
fair enough.
skateboard. That's how I used to get to school. Used to ride my skateboard to school, and I used to play this when I got home. Like that. This is my thing, definitely.
So yeah, it's pretty exciting, and I've heard that most of the music from the original because I actually feel like the music was a big part of the game as well because
Definitely.
definitely captured the. I wonder the
I
first when did
can't
these
hear
games
some of
come?
those songs without thinking of Tony Hawk's skateboarding.
Yeah, I know, and like I'll still never forget like playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, hearing Rage Against the Machine's Guerrilla Radio. I absolutely love that song. That's what actually
Yeah.
got me more into music because of those games as well. So
Yeah, I don't
big part
think
of my
all
life, I
of
guess.
them are back, but a good majority of them are back. They've got
Yeah,
a good
licensing
majority of
is a tough
licensed
thing.
music back in the game. So that I think that had to be a necessity. Now, one of the things that excites me the most about this, and it suits our main
Hmm.
theme, is never had achievements on these games back in the day or trophies, and
They
I think
had
they are
no, they
perfect
kind of
for it.
this
They
game
kind of
had
did,
that one had a list of all the things you have to
yeah.
do, and then there was always like
It was like
didn't
achievement hunting before achievement hunting. You
yeah
know,
that game
do you
definitely
know
did.
what
I
I
had
mean?
that list in it,
Yeah, it had a
and
list of
I could
things you had
never
to
do
tick
that list.
off. I used to play it for hours and hours trying to complete that list, and now we get to do it and get trophies or achievements for it. That excites me very
Yeah, I
much.
know. Nothing beats like playing a game you've already played back in the day and then having the extra reward of getting that sweet trophy and achievement.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm actually pretty excited for it. So September 4, I'll most likely. I mean, what's the release date of Cyberpunk, by the way? Do you know?
I always
I
forget.
think it's
I haven't been
Yeah,
keeping
sorry,
track.
that was a question without notice, but it's what got me worried because I'm obviously I'm going to play Cyberpunk,
Hmm.
but I want to play these. I just don't know. I think it's September at some point, but anyway, we'll worry about that later. That's future Aussie's problem. Moving on, guys.
What I want
Now,
to know though, are they going to
oh
put the cheats back in the game, like the gravity mode and stuff, where you can fly in
yes,
space?
I did not see that as part of the reveal. I'll have to find out.
Yeah. Oh well, we'll find out.
Moving on, I want to talk about the Inside Xbox event
Hmm.
that was last week now by the time you're listening to this, but I do think it's still important to go back and talk about it. Now, we're not really going to cover gameplay gate right now. We might talk about that a little later in the show. But for now, what I want to do is go through all the game announcements and get our opinions on the games and whether or not we're excited to play the games and what we think about the announcement. Now, I know some of this is very Xbox, and I'm the Xbox guy in this team. You're definitely the PlayStation guy. But I do think a lot of these games will be coming to both platforms
Yeah, I think
anyway.
I had to look at some. Some aren't, some are. But I actually forgot already. But it doesn't matter.
Now, I'm going to start with this one. Now, guys that don't already know Fox, he does not like Assassin's Creed.
Hate it.
I don't think you even give it a fair chance. That's my opinion. But I do still want to ask you, will you think about playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla?
No, absolutely not.
You were meant to answer more so I could have a drink and not have to
Look, honestly, like,
No.
all right, let me tell you my Ubisoft story.
No,
I
no.
remember when Watch Dogs 1 came out, that game, I remember everyone's going, oh my God, it's going to be the best game ever. And I was like, okay. And then
That
the game came out and it sucked.
bad example. That game got way overhyped. There's big
Yeah,
stories on
that was disgusting. And anyway, Watch Dogs 2 came out, and I remember there's always reviewers saying, no. This game's actually good. And I was like, really? And like even reviewers that I don't really follow reviews. I don't really care because I'm just gonna play the game myself. And people are like, no, this game's actually good. And I remember when I played it, I was like, oh, I actually had fun. Like the characters, and I was playing, I was watching that TV show Mr. Robot at the same time, so I had that vibe as well. I played for the game about killing people, and like there was like wasn't that many bullshit Ubisoft mechanics in it, which that's a long story, but let's not get into that. So I actually like Watch Dogs 2. I gave it a fair chance, and I really rate that game.
Yep.
Yeah. So if I don't know if
I,
Assassin's
I
Creed
honestly
Valhalla,
don't want this to become an Ubisoft talk because I don't see the comparison between say that style of game and an Assassin's Creed game. Are you excited in the setting at all? Vikings.
uh, Yeah, we'll see what they can do with it. Yeah, there's not much Viking stuff out there, so
Hmm. Hmm.
at least some Norse love out there, which is kind of cool.
Okay, well, we're going to leave Fox's bias behind because I want to say that I am super excited to play Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Assassin's Creed Origins and Assassin's Creed Odyssey are two of my favorite games this generation, and I cannot wait for them to do it in the Viking settings. I love the Vikings. The whole thought of Vikings really gets me really pumped. I cannot wait. I actually watching the trailer, the first reveal trailer. It actually reminded me of the Vikings show on Netflix. Some of the scenes actually looked like they were stolen from the Vikings show. But that aside, I just can't wait to play this game. So yeah, guys, we're
They
gonna.
showed any gameplay of it yet or not?
Well, they had a gameplay reveal, and again, we're going to
Yeah,
talk about that later.
yeah, it's alright. We'll move on from
There
that.
wasn't really much gameplay, so I'm excited to see. And we're also going to talk about a Ubisoft event later in the show, so
Hmm.
hopefully more gameplay from Assassin's Creed Valhalla there.
Maybe they were saving it for that. Maybe.
I think so. I think they just got the messaging wrong, and that's what we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
Bright Memory Infinite was actually the first trailer in the show. I was really excited watching this trailer, but really confused at the same time. It looked like an old feudal Japan setting. That's the kind of vibe I got from it. There's a bit of a storm happening. Then all of a sudden he pulls out a machine gun and starts shooting. Then there's a knight that had like a sword or something. Really
Yeah.
confusing.
It was a strange trailer.
And then he gets into what definitely looked like a DeLorean. It's a DeLorean.
It was a DeLorean.
Yeah, it's a DeLorean.
It
You
was a
get
DeLorean.
and you're driving. There seems to be some sort of driving gameplay as well. This for how they touted the show as a gameplay reveal. This was a gameplay reveal. It looked like gameplay,
It
and
was gameplay.
then they revealed it's being made by one person, which I thought is a really strange game to open the show with as well. And it really dropped my expectation. I was like on a real high, and then they said it made not that good on him. He's so far it looks like he or she has done an amazing job, but it did definitely lowered my expectations straight away. I think it looks cool, but also it left as many questions as it answered because I'm like,
Yeah.
what
It
is it?
was. Look, at least it showed gameplay, so at least the gameplay we know what it is. It's a first-person shooter. I still
Oh, and it
like
had
it's.
this amazing like grappling hook mechanic too that I really
Hmm.
liked.
I still like watching it. I'm a bit more harsh on first-person shooters. I'm like when I see, I'm like, why do I want to play this first-person shooter as opposed to anything else? So I'll still play it. Like when it comes out, it looks kind of cool. But yeah, I guess we'll wait until further news. I guess.
Yep. Yeah, I'm interested to see it now. We'll try and go through these a little bit
Hmm.
quicker.
Yeah, sure.
Call of the Sea was like a best way I could describe it, I guess, is sort of a walking simulator.
Yeah.
The game developers themselves describe it, or the Xbox Insider thing
Hmm.
described it as a first-person adventure game set in the 1930s. Call of the Sea has players step into the shoes of Nora, exploring a South Pacific island in search of her missing husband. Um, I think it looks cool. I like little first-person walking
They're not bad.
simulator slash puzzle. It looks like it's got puzzles and stuff like that. The art style I thought looked really cool as well.
It was nice. It was nice.
Hmm.
We
Doesn't
just
have
have to wait. We just have to wait if the story's good or not. I
yeah,
guess that's what we're waiting on.
doesn't have to be a big AAA thing. It reminded me a little bit
Oh,
of like
absolutely.
Firewatch, which was an amazing
Oh,
game.
Firewatch was so good.
Yeah, so jury's still out, but it definitely got me interested. The next game were well, not the next game in the order, but in alphabetical order was Chorus. I believe that's how you say it. It
Yeah.
looks like it's a V, not a U, but I think it's Chorus. And this is the one that was sort of the space dogfighting game. Apparently,
Hmm.
you play as this female main character, and your sort of sidekick is this alien spacecraft that has like an AI built into it. It's apparently a character in the game. Got any thoughts on this one, Fox?
Well, space shooters is like a long dead genre, so it's kind of cool that they're trying to bring it back. Because I think it's been like maybe a couple on PS4, Xbox One, like Elite Dangerous Sky is the only thing I can think of off the top of my head. So it's cool that they're trying to bring it back. Looks like a more of a fast paced arcade style one as opposed to a
Mm,
simulation because Elite was more of a simulation game.
definitely. Yep.
So yeah, so it's actually kind of cool to see a nice fast paced arcade shooter because I remember back in the day on PC playing X-Wing versus TIE Fighter and then like Lila Wars or Star Fox 64 if you live in America on the Nintendo 64, which is like one of my favorite games ever. So
Yep.
we'll just see some space shooters again. Hopefully it's good.
Yeah, and it definitely looks like they're also like this trailer definitely had gameplay, but they're also focusing on a story with it as
Hmm.
well. So it'll be interesting to see
Hmm.
how they mix that
Yeah, like
together.
how do you put a story in a game like that? Because it doesn't matter. We'll see it. We'll see when
Yeah,
it comes out.
yep. Next one I'm not too excited about, but we
Yeah,
definitely
that,
Dirt 5.
yeah,
There's not much to say about another rally game. I know it's made by some talented people. It looks cool for what it is. I'm not against rally games, but it's just being a streamer. It's I choose definitely to not stream racing games. And if
yeah,
I was going to play a racing game off stream, it'll be one of the Forza games. So
yeah.
probably not going to get to Dirt 5.
I share Shane's sentiment. Well,
Yep.
I used to be a huge car guy as a kid. I used to play. I was obsessed with Gran Turismo when I was very young.
Mm.
Even got 100% Gran Turismo 4. But yeah, I don't. Racing games are so hard to stream. So to anyone out there who wants to stream racing games, just be warned, you can't read the chat.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's
You
something
can't pause the
important to think
game and then
about.
yeah, it's a
Yeah,
tough genre.
yeah.
But
Uh,
yeah,
similar thoughts on this next one. Madden NFL 21.
yeah,
Um, Not my type of game. Obviously,
and not
we
me either.
are Australian for one. We don't play that sport, and even if we did, I don't know. I don't know. Not for me,
Yeah, we'll
but
just
it
move
does.
on. Next one.
Definitely has its fans. Shall we
Yeah,
move on? No
good
worries.
time.
Scarlet Nexus. What do we know about this one, Fox?
All right, so that one was the anime style Namco Band. Now, Namco Bandai have been doing some pretty cool games. Most have been pretty good. Some have been okay. So I couldn't tell whether it's going to be a Dark Souls style combat or more of a Devil May Cry style combat. But the enemies look pretty
Interesting.
cool. The
Yep.
graphics look pretty nice as well. The anime aesthetic was there. I'm looking forward to it. Looks all right.
Yeah, I definitely want to know more. This was actually a theme through this whole show was I wanted to know more.
Yeah,
And some people have
definitely.
criticized the show for that. In a way, I kind of like the show for that because I like wanting to know more.
Well,
Um, it'd be
I
better than
we'll get to
having
that
something
later.
come to me and go, okay, yeah, I see what that is. No thanks.
Yeah,
But at least I want to know more. So, and at least these games now on my radar. So when they do release more information, I'll be interested to check that out.
fair enough.
That's one take on it. The next game was Scorn, a game that a lot of people have known about for a long time.
Yeah,
Um, I don't know if they've had development issues, but
yeah.
finally another look. Any
Because
thoughts?
I was looking forward to Scorn 8 because I'm really big into like gore and like body horror and stuff. So it's nice to see like again it's like fleshy and disgusting. I love it.
Yep. I
And
got
I remember that year when Scorn got announced. I think it was announced. I don't know. I don't remember. It was last, I'm losing track of years and whatnot.
actually looked it
Uh,
up. I think from memory it was like 2017 or could have even
And
been
I
before that.
remember Scorn and Agony were both coming out. Were meant to come at the same year. And like I was like, oh cool, like two gory, fleshy games, awesome. And then Agony came out and it wasn't very good. So I was like, all right, we've got Scorn left. But then I hadn't heard anything since. So all
Yeah.
right, I'm glad it's still getting made, but where's that release date? I want to. Where is it?
Yeah,
I want that release date.
definitely built that sort of gory horror type vibe with the trailer. Definitely gave me big sort of alien vibes as well.
Yeah, I
Jesus,
think it's meant to be a first-person shooter as well because I remember in the old gameplay trailer, maybe the gameplay has completely changed as well, which is another thing.
would you describe it as a like first person? Yes, but a shooter. Is it a
Mm,
shooter?
I reckon it's more like
Like
an adventure game that has a gun.
okay,
That
okay,
makes sense.
yeah, 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 yep,
There is a gun, but it's not a first. It's kind of like Prey. I don't know if you played Prey
yeah. Or what if they made
2017.
it like Dead Space sort of vibe? That would be cool. And
Yeah,
that
I don't know.
that I guess you'd call a first person shooter. Yeah, but
Yeah,
anyway.
oh, third person technically because
Oh, it's third person. Yeah, of course. Sorry, my bad. Yeah.
it's all good. It's all good. Next one.
I'm hoping that it reminds me of Alien Isolation. I hope they can sort of build on that sort of theme.
Okay.
But who knows? Who knows? I don't know a lot about Scorn other than the trailer and
Yeah.
that it had already been announced a long time ago. The next game on the list is Second Extinction,
Hmm.
the dinosaur game that I do believe you thought looks boring.
Yeah, like when I saw it, I was just like, and that's all I
And
could think. I was like, what like why would I want to like I just that first game that we talked about, at least I had some intrigue behind it. I guess the DeLorean made me go, all right, maybe it's got something. But this game, I don't know, it just seemed like it's like a whatever shooter where you just shoot things. I don't know. There just didn't seem like much substance to
yeah,
it.
I don't
So
want to harp on it, but again,
yeah, I know.
this one made me feel
It's a trailer. It does that's all
yeah.
that's the information they
Oh, I
gave
was
me.
going to
So
say this one again made me feel I want to know more. I want to know sort of what the story
this
is.
one
I
I
did
feel like
look
they
into
gave
it.
me enough.
I looked into it a little bit, and apparently it's about taking Earth back, and these dinosaurs or whatever have overrun the Earth, and blah blah blah. But I'm interested in it. What scared me about it is I'm not into MMOs, and it looked like they were sort of looked like it
Yeah,
could have been
that's.
an MMO. I'm hoping it has like a good single player story because I think that could be cool having dinosaurs in a good single player story. Sounds cool to me, but again, I need to know more because I don't know what it's going to be. Let's move on to the Ascent. Now, this is the cyberpunk looking. That's my first take on it. Looks
Mhm.
very cyberpunky, but it is a twin stick shooter. Kind of looks cool and it looks like they've built like a story into it as well.
Yeah, twin stick shooters have been coming back a lot. It's like one of those indie games. It's like easy to develop.
Hmm.
I'm not saying like it's easy to make, but it's hard to make an excellent one. That's why
Yeah,
Enter
yeah.
the Gungeon's well revered, whereas other games just disappear.
That I
Anyway,
know that art style and the isometric view is definitely. I wouldn't say easy. I don't know anything about game development, but it's definitely sort of a cheaper um, way to make a game, I guess.
yeah, in a way, I guess. Let's just say it's easy to make that and say like an indie first person shooter. Let's just say that.
Yep, yep.
Anyway,
What do
yeah, it
you
looks
think?
cool. I'm actually a big fan of twin stick shooters. So if the gameplay's there, the controls are there, I'll play it.
Okay. And let's just move on. Let's get through these games. The Medium, brought to you by Blooper Games or whatever they're called.
Yep.
They're the guys that made Layers of Fear 1 and 2. They made Observer. And more recently, they made the Blair Witch game. That is enough for me to go, yes, I'm playing this game.
You know what made me go yes?
Yeah?
I saw the trailer, right, and I heard the music. I'm like, oh, that sounds like the Silent Hill composer music, and then
And
it was the
who is
Silent Hill.
it? Exactly, yeah.
I
That's
was
what
like,
made you
well,
go, yes?
yeah, that's the only reason why I'm playing it. Like, I have no, I haven't played their games at all. Like, Layers of Fear doesn't appeal to me, but
No.
Observer looked a bit better, and Blair, which was like obviously looked huge improvement over the
Mm,
other games.
mm.
But yeah, I always harp on that horror developers don't really have good music, but the Silent Hill composer is just god tier at making music. So I'm looking forward to
Yeah,
playing
they,
it.
they definitely made sure that we knew about that in
Oh yeah,
the
they did.
reveal. And
They
then
threw that in our
they did
face.
like a developer interview afterwards, and they talked about that again. And they, but I mean, why wouldn't you? If you've got that in your game, it's got you on board. I just love that. Not love. Love's probably a bit strong, but I've liked all their games, and it definitely has been improvement.
Hmm.
Um, so and
I really like seeing these developers that their first game is like either average or kind of crap, but then every sequel or not sequel, sometimes they just make a new game, but like they're getting better and better. So it's kind of cool that Blooper Games has been stepping up to the plate as
yeah,
well.
they're growing, I guess. I wonder. I mean, I don't want to get too into the weeds
Yeah,
with
yeah, of
it, but I
course.
wonder if their actual studio has grown or grown in
Hmm.
size and stuff like that as they've made each of these games. Moving on to Vampire: The Masquerade Bloodlines 2. I
Yeah.
got to admit, I don't actually know anything about the first game. Apparently, this game is not new knowledge to a lot of people. Apparently, it had already been announced. I've heard of it.
Oh, really? Jeez. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vampire is it's like one of the first. It's like a first-person RPG. He plays vampires. It's I haven't played it personally myself, but it's on my to-do list. It's one of those like PC classics that people just go on and on how good it is. So I will actually play it before this number two comes out. It's only on PC. I'll play it.
Okay.
But yeah, the original game had like a lot of what made it, I guess, special to a lot of people is it had different vampire classes, and each vampire class completely changed the way you played the game. Plus, people, did the all like pacifist run, stealth runs, full combat runs. So this game just had so much choice into it, and I think the choices in the game matters all. Plus, memorable characters, and I think there's like main characters can get killed off as well and stuff. So
Okay.
yeah,
I
correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah.
The trailer looked awesome. It definitely
Hmm.
looked like something. Yeah, I want to play this. There's not enough.
I'm definitely
There's,
playing number. I'm
there's
definitely
too
playing
many
this game.
zombie games versus not enough vampire games in my
It
book.
does happen, doesn't it?
Yep. But I definitely interested. I just didn't know enough about it. And in fact, the thing that threw me off the most when I was like, oh, I want to play it, I want to play it, I want to play it, and then they put number two, and I was like, oh, now I feel like I'm missing something. Like I need the first one, but the first one's not on Xbox.
No,
So
it's only on PC. I don't think
yeah.
yeah.
You know what? Microsoft, go make a port for your Xbox. Bring this out a couple of months before the second one comes out. You'll make a killing. Trust me. I'll play it.
Yeah.
No, just put it on Game Pass, actually. All right, next game. Yakuza Like a Dragon. I
Yeah.
love that this got announced because I just at the start of the show talked about Yakuza 0. Hopefully, by the time. No, I won't be actually. By the time this comes out, I won't be ready to play it, but I'm still excited that it exists.
I'm happy though that Yakuza's actually like got that much respect now that it's like we're gonna put this on the Xbox show. Like this is like big deal now. That's
Yeah,
kind of cool.
it
'Cause I
is.
remember playing Yakuza 1 back in the day on PS2 and like no one even knew what the hell Yakuza was.
Yep, yep. Oh, it's definitely grown the last couple of years with Zero and the Kiwami remasters or remakes or whatever they are, whatever you want to call them.
Hmm.
And now that Xbox announced last year that they're bringing out all the Yakuza games, all these new Yakuza games to Game Pass or to the Xbox platform in general. And like I said, Yakuza Zero. It is actually Yakuza Zero moved into my top 5 games of all time. I'm not going to go over them here, but I love it that much.
Jeez, that's huge. Big
Yeah,
hole.
yeah. So I can't wait to just to play through more of the series. Whatever comes to Xbox, I'm going to get my hands on it. You excited? I mean, it's hard for you to say because you haven't, like you said
Yeah,
before,
like look,
you haven't
I'm
played the
happy for the
series yet.
series. I'm happy for the series. I'll get around to it one day. I'm sure by the time I start it, the 20 will be out.
Fox's
And
get
it'll be set
around
in the
to it one
future.
day list. This is a thing. This is a
Yeah.
thing. Fox's get around to it one day list. I reckon you watch one stream of yours, Fox, and you will mention 4 or 5 games. I'll get
Yeah.
to it one day. And that list is just getting longer and longer
Yeah, it's
and longer.
disgusting.
Yeah.
You should see
I
like
think the
and
majority of the games on that list you'll never get around to.
I'll get to it one day.
All right, I'm going to move on. I know we've talked a lot about Xbox here, but I'll just talk about this here just to
Hmm.
sort of leave it in the Xbox section here. Xbox first party games showcase has been announced coming in July, similar to
Okay.
the show that we just finished talking about, except they're
So,
going to focus on first party games. It's announced as a Nintendo Direct style digital event every month. Um,
cool. Okay.
for the oh, sorry. So that's the July version, but they've also announced that they're going to do a Nintendo Direct style show every month for the rest of the year, and it's called Xbox 2020. And the first part of that was the third party games that we just talked about. But the event in July is going to focus on Xbox Studio games. That means what are they going to focus on in June? So in May, we've just had the third party games. In June, we don't know what they're going to talk about. And in July, they're going to talk about first party games. I am left wondering, are they going to be doing a more of an Xbox console, more hardware reveal in June? Normally, we've got E3 in June. And
Hmm.
at E3, I do believe you would expect maybe the console reveal, which we've already had with the
Yeah.
Xbox, but you'd also expect maybe a release date, maybe a price. Are we
Yeah.
going to get that in June? I did think of talking more about the first party games show, but I'm actually more interested to see what they're going to talk about in June and whether it'll be those things like specifically a console price and release date.
Yeah. I'm curious about that as well. That price.
Yeah, the price is going to be very, very interesting. That and the PS5.
Yeah.
I have a feeling they're just going to price match each other. To be honest, I don't think they either of them wants to be the more expensive.
Yeah. I think we've become so homogenized in this day and age. Like I really hope people in the chat as well. I hope you guys buy both consoles. Just whatever console's got the games you want to play on it. Like there's great games on both consoles.
Yeah.
So I hope
Well,
that pettiness is
Fox
eventually
and I
going
have
away.
talked about this many, many times.
Hmm.
He plays on the PS4. I play on the Xbox, but we're not like console. We don't get into
Oh,
a
I couldn't
console
care.
war.
I'm not giving a
Um,
crap.
we like games. If I had unlimited money and I wasn't an achievement hunter, which is a big if.
Yeah,
Um,
of course.
I
Yeah.
would I would love to have both and I'd play all the good games and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I've spoken about this many times on stream and stuff like that. For those that know me, the only reason I don't there's two reasons I don't have a PS4. Number one is achievements. I just like my achievement hunting and blah blah
Of
blah.
course.
And but the second reason would trump it if this wasn't the case. And that is, I have just like when Spider Man came out, I wanted to play Spider Man really, really bad, and it nearly convinced me to buy a PS4. But the thing that stopped me is I have already got too many games to play. If
Yeah.
I got to the point where I ran out of games to play and I didn't have any good games to play, well, then I'd have to buy a PS4. But I can't justify spending that extra money when I've already got all these games to
It's a
play.
tough ask because, like, I'll give you an example for me. Like last year, like obviously I stream mainly PS4. I think I played two games on Nintendo Switch, and then maybe three games on PC, and I only played them just because one of them was Katana Zero. Everyone kept telling me how amazing this indie game was. It wasn't coming on any console except for Switch. I was like, all right, I'll play it, and I finished it, and I loved it, and I'm very grateful I played it. But yeah, like unless if the game is like short and sharp and shiny, like I was like my PS4 backlog and my PS3 backlog, I'm still working through that too. It's insane.
Yeah. The other thing that leaves me as we sort of leave that news behind is
Hmm.
what is next from Sony? Where is the
Who knows?
PS5 Fox?
I don't know.
Where is it? That's the
Hello,
point. We don't know,
hello,
do
Sony,
we?
Sony.
We
Let me just
don't
get my
know.
phone.
Uh, now,
Ah, no, 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 no news, no news.
they did just announce, well, the first I heard of it was this morning. They've announced the next State of Play PlayStation event, but
Hmm?
they've already said that is focused solely on Ghost of Tsushima.
I don't know why though. There's already been trailers for it. Just give me the game. I
Yeah,
don't care.
that's exactly. I was going to touch on that. We may as well talk about that now.
Yeah, sure.
Um, that is the event. It is. I don't have with me when it comes. Let me just grab that. When is the date? No, I don't have it in front of me. Sorry, guys. But by the time you hear this episode, I think it will have already happened. Um, and I'm similar to what you just said. I'm kind of like. I mean, I'm not going to play it because it's a PS4 exclusive. But if I
Yeah,
was, I just want the game. Like I don't
yeah.
need.
Like the
I
game
don't need
has
to
already
know
been.
any more about it.
There's a trailer like what last year on E3. I think there was another trailer. I didn't even watch the trailer. I think I watched like 30 seconds. Oh, it looks cool. I'll play it. It's just,
Yeah,
and
a
whatever.
lot of people would have already decided whether they're going to play it or not, and then a lot of those
Yeah,
people that are going to play it would be in a what I call like a blackout anyway, a media blackout, because you don't want to
yeah,
know anything more about it. You don't want anything spoiled. You just want to play the game. So
yeah.
I've
And because it's only coming out, I think what next month?
yeah
Did
yeah.
it get
Is
delayed
it
significantly?
July? I think it might be July, not June. I think.
Because they did
Again,
get.
again, I'm not a PS4 guy, so I don't keep on
Hold on,
top
I'll
of
look
that.
it up. Give me a second.
No
I'll do
worries.
it.
While you're doing that, what I'll move on to is that CD Projekt Red have announced an event as well. They're
July
doing
17th.
July 17th. Okay, so
Not even
July.
that far away. You can wait, guys.
Exactly. So I don't know about that, but
Yeah. Oh
I'm
well.
still, I am, look for it on the channel. If it is worthy of it, I will have a video on the channel about the State of Play event. But yeah, CD Projekt Red have announced an event for June 11, a bit of a Cyberpunk 2077 showcase.
Hmm?
Similar, I actually have similar feelings to that what we were just talking about. Um, I am a little bit more excited because I still don't really know a lot about this game. But either way, I really don't care because I'm going to play the game. I'm sold.
Yeah, it just seems like we've got the trailer. We've
Yeah, I
had
don't know why
plenty of
do.
gameplay footage. Keanu Reeves is in the game.
Yeah, why do an event
Like
for one game? Like the
yeah, I'd be I would understand if CG Project Red said, we're gonna show a new Cyberpunk feature, plus we've announced a new game or something, or maybe they've put like a smaller indie team that's gonna make like a smaller offshoot of
mm,
Witcher or Cyberpunk, maybe like a short like 10
maybe
20 hour
you know what?
game.
I wouldn't put it
It'd be
past
kind of
CD
cool.
Projekt Red. Maybe they are punking
Who
us
knows?
with this. Like maybe they'll announce Witcher 4 or something.
Yeah.
Like
Oh.
maybe they've split their studio into two but I can dream.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
anyway,
Speculation,
that's my feelings
speculation.
on that. Different feelings I have on Ubisoft. Have announced Ubisoft Forward digital event announced for July 12th. Now, all of this stuff, guys, is actually replacement. I mean, I guess even the CD Projekt Red thing, they probably would have just linked up with either Sony or Microsoft and shown something at
Yeah,
E3. So
that's
these
right.
events are replacing stuff that we would have got at E3. And Ubisoft Forward digital event announced for July 12th. Now that's different because they have a number of games in production at the moment that
Mm.
I'm excited myself. I know you're not like we touched on, you're not an Ubisoft fan. We're not going to get into that, but they do have a number of games. I'm wondering if you're excited about any. The games that I think they might cover games
What we
like
got?
Watch Dogs Legions, Gods and Monsters. Now both of those had already release windows at least, but they both have been delayed. I think the delay said they're going to be delayed to be next gen games. So I'm looking forward to seeing more from them and maybe getting some release dates. As we touched on before, I'm looking forward to seeing more from Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Hopefully, a bit more of a gameplay segment that I want
Well,
to
I
see
want to
from
know,
that.
is Ubisoft going to announce a new Rayman game? I've been waiting since Rayman Legends for a new
So,
game.
so that would excite you if they not excite you, but that you would be interested if they were.
Oh no, I'd actually be pretty damn excited if there was a new Rayman
Oh, we
game.
got some
That's something
excitement
that would
out
make
of
me, that would actually
Fox.
something that make me smile. I love Rayman Origins of Legends so much.
Okay, okay.
Um, yeah,
I
I
did
guess
love that game too.
I guess what we're waiting on from Ubisoft as well is because Mikel Ansel is the guy who makes Rayman and Origins of Legends. Sorry.
Yep.
He is also working on Beyond Good and Evil 2, and we haven't
I
heard
was going to
anything.
get to that. Yes,
Yeah, see
yes.
if that's going to get announced because that's been a long time coming.
Yeah, we haven't heard much new stuff from that for quite a while.
Yeah.
For example, if E3 was going to happen this year, I would have expected some more Beyond Good and Evil 2 news. So I'm looking to see if there's going to be some more on that. There's also the new Rainbow Six. I don't think it's called Rainbow Six Siege. The new Rainbow Six, I think Quarantine or something. I don't know.
So is it like a story game? Or is it still
No,
multiplayer?
it's like the Rainbow Six game, but sort of a newer version, I think. I'm not in that world,
Ah, okay,
so
fair enough, fair enough.
but there will be some information on that. And I'm wondering, there's a game that went completely dormant around the time Sea of Thieves was getting talked about as a new pirate game
Yeah.
coming out. They announced a game called Skull and Bones, which is just a pirate ship MMO style game like Sea of Thieves, but more realistic looking than what Sea of Thieves looks.
Okay,
They announced
interesting.
that years ago, and it's been quiet, but they've not there's been no news that it's been cancelled or anything like that. So I'm interested to see if they show us more from that game as well. I know a lot of people originally were excited about it, but a lot of people have probably forgotten about it
Yeah.
too.
The other thing I was going to mention was Ubisoft had a really cool track record. I forgot how long ago it was, but when they were making these indie games, like the small studio, because they had a Child of Light, Valiant Hearts, and Grow Home, and there's a sequel to Grow Home as well.
Yep,
So
yep.
it'd be nice to see Ubisoft bring those indie teams back because those games are actually like really good games.
Yeah, I'd actually be very surprised if they didn't show something from one of their,
Yeah,
their indie
I don't,
partners.
whether they cut them, I don't know. But
I don't think so. I think they would have something coming. They just don't sort of get talked about as much. Like a lot of people wouldn't even know that those games you just mentioned are from Ubisoft.
yeah, but
And
they're all good
there's
games.
some
Like
very good
Valiant Hearts is
games. Yeah,
excellent.
yeah.
Valiant Hearts is
Child of Light,
excellent.
I really enjoyed as well.
Yeah.
Okay, what I want to do now is move on. I want to talk about something that we might be looking forward to. Now, I did not get this from you actually before the
Mhm.
show, Fox. I did have it in the show notes. So, a game that I'm looking forward to coming up is actually for May. I want to talk about something in May that you may or may not be
Yep.
looking forward to. So, sorry I didn't give you enough notice, probably.
That's okay. That's all right.
But something I'm looking forward to in May is Minecraft Dungeons. I think we talked about it
Yeah,
briefly
we talked about it briefly. Yeah, yeah.
on the last episode, but it is coming out very soon now, in the next couple of weeks, and I want to try it out and see if it hooks me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Not from a multiplayer perspective. I don't know much about whether it is. I know it's 4-player co-op, but I don't know if it's sort of like a living game, like an online only experience or not. I don't actually know the answers to that. Probably could look that up, but I'm just curious to try it when it comes out. Definitely want to stream this and see how it goes. I'm also curious to see what the achievements are going to look like. The achievement list is on available online. True Achievements, for example, has the
Awesome.
achievement list. I've looked through it. Some of them look like they could be grindy, but you don't really know
Yeah, you don't know how
until
long.
you play the game and see how the game plays. But a lot of them look like just beat this boss or beat this boss or beat this area. It looks like so. I'm excited to try it and see the gameplay. Like a dungeon crawler appeals to me. The Minecraft side of it doesn't appeal to me. I don't like the Minecraft art style. It's one of the reasons I've never got into the main game.
Yeah, fair enough.
But I definitely want to play it. I'm looking forward to it. I think it comes out straight into Game Pass on May 26th. So look out for that on my Twitch channel to start with, guys. I will definitely be streaming that right off the bat. Anything you're looking forward to, Fox? That you
All
can think
right.
of?
Well, I've got once I finish off Final Fantasy VII and Streets of Rage, I did purchase Persona 5 Royale. I haven't had a chance to play it yet, and I've
Okay.
got Catherine as well. And I remember I always wanted to play Catherine back in the day on PS3, but the actual trophy list scared me. It's super hard.
Okay.
However, the PS4 version, and to the other people out there, in case you want to know, they
They've,
actually made the trophy easier.
they've
It's
dumbed
still
it down.
hard. It's still hard, but they've made it. I forgot. I think there's like some puzzle you have to do, and you only got like one chance, and if you screw up, you screw it up. But I
Yep.
think they gave you like an extra chance or something. I don't know. I didn't read into it properly,
Okay.
but it said they made it longer, but it's like one or 2 points difficulty less.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to that. Because I'm doing too many hard games at the same time. I want a hard game, but not an insane game. That's basically what I'm trying to say.
Right here. Right
And
here.
Persona 5 Royale, I was going to play the original game back in the day, but that trophy list, it was let's just say you had to have a calendar and a diary and a laptop and a multi-screen setup to try and because that game had an insane amount of missable achievements, and I was like, oh no, I don't want to play it because that's the one of the worst things I hate about trophy hunting is when there's too much missables and you just get to that stage where you get this anxiety of like I can't even enjoy the game because I need to make sure I got this and this and this and this.
Yep.
But Persona 5 Royal, they've dumbed it down. A friend of mine actually finished it the other week. He said he didn't even try and he just pretty much just finished the game, did some things and he got the trophy. So I was like, awesome. All
So
right,
he
I'm
got the
looking forward
plat
to
as
that.
well. Okay.
I can just focus on the storyline because that's the key point of the game, the storyline.
Awesome. Okay, I
But then
want
my
to talk.
two
Sorry, go. Yeah.
Oh, and I did get two indie games are coming out this week as well that I'm gonna give a try as well. So Iron Maiden, which was came out PC last year, but now it's on all consoles as of I think this Sunday coming up, or it should probably be out by the time this video shows up.
Yep.
Basically, it's uses the old Duke Nukem 3D build engine. So they basically made a brand new game using that 90s first-person shooter engine. And I was a huge fan of Duke Nukem 3D and Blood and the original Shadow Warrior as well.
Mm-hmm.
And your boy Lo Wang, that was his debut
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
So yeah, they basically made a brand new game using that old 90s engine. It got a lot of good reviews. It's a lot of fun, so I'm going to give that a crack as well. And then this other game called The Hunt Down or something like that. I've got the name here. Hunt Down, yeah. It's a pixel art 2D shoot 'em up. Basically plays like it's a cyberpunk game as well. So you basically play as like some four guys. They're gonna kill some bounties and that. Kind of like an old classic Super Nintendo game, kind of like Contra. We just walk left to right shooting people. Just
Awesome.
right up my alley. Love that
Cool.
stuff. But yeah,
Well,
that's for me. For me.
I look forward to seeing you try those out for
Mm.
sure over on Fox Plays Official on Twitch, guys. Now I want to move on and talk about any new Game Pass news. We just
Mm.
had Red Dead Redemption 2 hit Game Pass last week. I know
Now,
we
is
chatted.
there a good guide for Red Dead Redemption 2? Because I'm thinking about playing it.
Look, I do know someone that spent 500 hours recording gameplay
500
footage
hours.
just for the single player.
Wow.
Now, it won't take anybody that long to beat the single player if they follow my guide on YouTube, guys. But I do cover all the achievements for the single player only on my guide on YouTube. So please check that out if you're thinking of completing
It's in
Red
depth.
Dead Redemption 2.
The big task.
Look,
Big
I
task.
remember spending hours and hours. This is when I first was off work with some injuries and stuff like that. I had a lot of time on my hands, and I spent hours and hours finding the best spawn points for all the different animals. For those that have already tried to complete it, you'll know what a pain in the butt that would be.
Yeah, I've
Um,
heard.
but I did try and show the best spots to find all the rare animals in my guides, guys. So please check that out if you're interested. Another game that hit Game Pass on May 7th was DayZ. Definitely not a game for me, but I wanted to just let you guys know. Now, this is something I am looking forward to that I should have just had in the last segment, and that is Final Fantasy IX.
Yep.
Comes to Game Pass on May 14. So it's out yesterday if you're listening to this the day this episode comes out. And I'm actually in the middle of a Final Fantasy IX stream. If you're watching this premiere on Twitch, and we'll be getting back to Final Fantasy IX as soon as I can. But yeah, going to be playing that and streaming it from Thursday. So that's tomorrow, our time as I record this. I've not got much Final Fantasy experience. I never played Final Fantasy IX back in the day, but I am really looking forward to trying this one.
Oh, it's a great game.
Yeah, I know you've played it.
Oh yeah, I finished it as a kid slash teenager. I finished it beginning to end 4 times. I love the characters. Way better. For those who haven't played Final Fantasy 9, I'm sorry you guys missed out. It's actually so much more better than 7 and 8. So make sure to give it a try. It's really good.
Well, that's the exciting thing about it coming to Game Pass. Hopefully, it gets a whole nother set of new fans or a new audience that haven't tried it. Gives them a chance to try it. So I'm looking forward to that. And
Do you want me to run through the achievements as well, Ozzy?
well, I haven't actually had a good look at it myself. I am planning on having a big look tomorrow before I play it. I am thinking of doing the completion, but I'm not 100% sure with my grind of Yakuza going on. I think the main thing that I want to do I'm going to look at what's missable, but the main thing I want to do is just get through the story and experience the game. Do you want to give just some overall thoughts on what the plat/completion is like?
Yeah, because I've already read through the list. Hundred. I will get around to it eventually.
Yep.
So basically, you do need to do two playthroughs, or you could technically do a one, but let's not get into that. It's
Mm.
insane. So in the game, you do have to get pretty much all the items in the game, and you have to pretty much learn most of the abilities. One of the biggest grinds is you have to kill, I think, 10,000 enemies in battle, which that is a long grind, unfortunate. You do have to kill the secret boss Ozma as well. So pretty much to get to Ozma, you have to do the entire Chocobo quest. So that's like another side quest you got to do. Um, there is the hunting quest in on disc one. If you guys remember, if you were talking about the old PS1 disc one days, you have to let Vivi win the hunt. So if he doesn't win, then you miss out the achievement there. So just make sure to let him win.
Yep.
There's a few, and when you get to the final section of the game in disc four, make sure to have a save file around disc like the end of disc three area, because when you get to the final act of the game, a lot of areas get blocked off, which is another reason why a lot of the achievements are missable.
Okay.
And
Okay.
and I did say two playthroughs because if you know, there was an infamous weapon called the Excalibur 2
Oh, I just.
final dungeon
Okay.
in
Yep.
under, I think it's 12 hours off memory. Now, before you go, oh my God, that's a Final Fantasy. How do I get there in 12 hours? Luckily, the Xbox and the PS4 and the Steam version does have the ability to make your characters invincible. You do have a fast forward function as well, which doesn't affect the game clock. And you can turn off encounters as well. So you can just run through the game. You can
Yeah,
skip the
there's always
cinematics as well.
boosters in the settings apparently that you can turn
Yeah,
on
so basically, like if you're
that
if
don't
you're not
void achievements or trophies. Yeah.
correct, so yeah, if you're not into grinding that much, you can like I guess you can play the game in your own pace, so you can make it faster for you guys as well, which is kind of cool.
I'm looking forward to trying all that. I think
Yeah,
the more I think about it, the more I want to get the completion. I'm just a bit worried about all the other games that I've got going on that I'm trying
of
to
course.
complete. But I might
It's
I
it
might love it
like
that much that I'm just going to keep playing it.
it's
Or
the it's of the original PlayStation trilogy of Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9. 9 is definitely the hardest one to get the 100%.
okay,
Yeah, all the gamer score. 7 and 8 is a lot easier.
okay. Now also the next game to come to Game Pass after that, also
Your
in
minds.
May, is Fractured Minds. And I do have a full video walkthrough on my YouTube channel. So if you want to get a quick and easy completion, it is definitely a very
And
easy
what's the game
completion.
like?
It's it's hard to explain. Let's just call it a
Not
first-person
bad.
walking sim. It's not a terrible game, but
Okay, just okay.
if it wasn't an easy completion, I wouldn't have played it. Knowing what I know now, I wouldn't have. But it was definitely worth giving it a shot.
Okay.
And I only probably stuck with it because it was an easy completion. Check my video on YouTube if you want to know more on that one. Now, moving on, we would normally cover what games are coming to Games with Gold and PS Plus.
The middle of the month.
But it is, yeah, the middle of the month now. I guess speaking of that, we do have two games that will be available on the 16th of May on Xbox Games with Gold. First one coming will be Warhammer 40,000 Inquisitor Edition, whatever that is. I don't know these Warhammer names and all their names and
I can't
subtitles,
keep track of those Warhammer
all
games
that.
anymore.
Yeah, I don't get all the different ones, but that one is available May 16 to June 15 on Xbox One, and also Overlord 2. Now, we did do a separate video for these guys on the channel, so go check that out if you want to know more about these games. But Overlord 2 also comes on May 16. That's available on Xbox One through the Xbox 360 backwards compatibility program. Fox, do you want to quickly touch on the PS Plus games that are out this month?
Yeah, so we had on my PlayStation video that I did, we've got what was it, City Skylines and Farming Simulator. So they did I guess a month dedicated to the simulator fans. I actually might consider City Skyline because I was a huge SimCity fan back in the day. So I might do it like on my days off and I just feel like building a city up.
Yeah, I definitely don't have anything against those sorts of games, and if I had a
Yeah,
bit more
they need
extra
they need to
time
get
on
a
my
chance.
hands, I would get onto them. And there are plenty of people out there. I know that we got a lot of negative comments and things on that video, and there's a lot of negativity around the PS Plus games this month. But there are fans of those games, and I'm happy for them to get
Yeah, let them have their month.
exactly, exactly.
Let them have their 1 month.
Yeah, that's right, mate. I agree. Okay, now moving on. And again, that is a video that Fox did generously for us here on this channel, guys. So make sure you check that out. Now, I do want to have a quick. I just want to touch on these real quick. I like having a little look at reviews of games that have just recently come out. Call this my review roundup.
All right.
A couple of the biggest games that have come out in the last couple of weeks. Streets of Rage 4. It's sitting at a Metacritic score of 82. For me, that sounds about right. I personally would rate it a little bit lower, but that I'm thinking around a 70 to 75. For me, that's a good game. I know there's another whole discussion we could have about review scores. I really enjoyed the game. You look at GameSpot giving it an 80 and IGN giving it a 70. I'd be right in the middle there. So I think overall, I feel like the reviews are about right for the game. I know
I'd go a touch higher.
I know, yeah, you'd give it a bit more praise than I would.
Yeah, I think like, because I've always liked beat 'em ups as a kid, and I just feel like this game is like the actual evolution of beat 'em ups. There's just so much combat mechanics in it, and it has so much personality, so many cool throwbacks to the original game. The soundtrack is just amazing. It is just so good. Like, even if you don't want to play the game, like if you don't want to play, that's fine. But you got to do yourself a favor, listen to the soundtrack at least.
Yeah,
and
I would definitely agree with that. But that
yeah.
starts a whole nother discussion that we won't get into. But whether or not, like, if you rated this as as a beat 'em up only, like in terms of beat 'em ups, it's probably closer to a 10 out of 10 because it's probably one of the best ever.
Freaking amazing, yeah.
But if you rate it as a game on the whole, whole scale, maybe it loses support. I don't know. It depends if you're. And again, if you were someone who loves beat 'em ups and you reviewed it versus someone who doesn't like beat 'em ups and you reviewed it, do you know what I'm getting at there?
Oh, yeah, I know the point. But I feel like that point that you're saying is that a beat 'em up never has the opportunity to be a 10 out of 10 game.
No. Yeah, see, that would be unfair. I'm not saying that that's my point of view. I'm just saying that happens. I think it definitely should be able to get a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
It probably isn't a 10 out of 10. But
that's why I don't care about review scores. I just
exactly. Good point. Which makes this whole segment a bit mute, but I do enjoy just reviewing the reviews.
Yeah, discussions are always fun.
Yeah. Next game I want to quickly talk about is Trials of Mana. I know you played it. Obviously, we talked about it earlier. Sitting at Metacritic score of 77.
I say it's pretty fair for it.
You reckon 77 is about fair?
I guess like the quickest way of saying it. So I consider like a really good game. I had a lot of fun with it. I had way more fun with this game than Final Fantasy VII Remake. I almost consider both the games like the same score in a way. Like they're both like a 7 out of 10 to me. But like I just think like Trials of Mana is a 7 out of 10, but it's a fun game. Whereas Final Fantasy VII is a 7 out of 10 due to the technical side of it, and there's some pretty cool stuff in it, but there's just a lot of crap in it that just made me just not enjoy the game.
So they both get and lose points for different reasons. That makes sense.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's an hour long discussion. That's
Now I do
Trials of Mana, good game.
Cool. I agree from what I saw of it, and definitely watching you play it looked like you enjoyed it. So that to me is more important than a review score.
Yeah.
Now I do want to remind everyone that this show is brought to you by my Patreon page over at patreon.com/Aussie Gamer 17.
It's the description down below.
If you want to support the channel, please head over there and support the show as well. Guys, and if you do that, you will be able to email me and give me entries for this segment of the show, which is the Army email section. This is where patrons on patreon.com/Aussie Gamer 17 submit emails. I'm going to take a look at them and see if we can find any discussion points that we talk about on the show right now. And this is where I wanted to talk about Gameplay Gate that I mentioned earlier.
Let's go.
Thank you to Ben Veazey, who wrote in and said, "Hey Aussie, I'm interested in your thoughts on the great Inside Xbox gameplay debate." I like that he called it that. "Personally, I feel that folk on social media are taking things a little too seriously, and I thought the show was fine." Thank you very much for that, Ben.
Thanks, Ben.
And I quite agree with what Ben says in that message. I do think Fox, I don't know how much you follow this side of things, but after the show, so many YouTubers, so many people on Twitter just completely criticizing the show, and I felt it was very over the top. But I'm very biased. I am very. I'm the opposite of a pessimist when it comes to this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the show. I did a live reaction show, which is also available on the channel, guys. I enjoyed the reveals. Like I said when we talked about it earlier, I was left wanting more from it. But in my book, that is not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
I do agree that they did message it wrong. They called it, Xbox Series X gameplay reveals, and they harped on that. But in going back and looking at their actual press releases or their media that Xbox themselves did on it, they did mention there will be gameplay reveal and trailers and this and that and then it's the media that then pick up that word gameplay and emphasize it in all of them, advertising the show and talking about the show, and everyone forgot that gameplay was just one word that Xbox mentioned in the lead up to the show.
Yeah, I'm with you there that people just go on and on and on, and like it's like such a I just like, honestly, like my word is I don't care. I literally watched the trailers just like the day before because for preparation for the show.
Yeah, have something
and
to
because like
talk about.
I don't really care about gameplay reveals and stuff like that. I just, until the game's onto my console or on my computer, it doesn't exist to me until it's actually physically released. So I had to look for the trailers. Some of the trailers look pretty. Like, I guess if you do advertise the gameplay, you're going to get backlash. Unfortunately, the gamer market are a very vocal majority where they do argue and get into fights about things that really don't matter that much.
Correct.
I was just say, look at the trailer at face value. Does the game look cool? Does it intrigue you? You're going to play it. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't take life so seriously, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly what Ben's trying to say. And I said, I agree with him. I think everyone did expect more gameplay, but we didn't get it. It's what is it? We're in May. Like, I'll care about whether the gameplay is good when I'm trying to decide whether to buy the game. I don't need to decide to buy these games right now. Like, we've got plenty of time. There's plenty more showcases and events to come where we're going to see more. I do agree that maybe an Xbox have come out and admitted this, that they got the messaging a little bit wrong.
Yeah.
I agree with that. But
I want
at
to
the end
know.
of the day, even with that, I don't care. Like, I enjoyed the show. I'm excited for the games. I can't wait to see more. I think that's the exact response that they should want from it, and that's the response they get from me.
I want to know, but we can never test this theory. If we had a time machine, went back, told Microsoft, hey, just call it Xbox reveal or something like that, if it would have had the same reaction.
Well, that's very interesting because Aaron Greenberg, he's one of the head honchos over at Microsoft or part of the Xbox team, and he said on Twitter, had we not said anything and just shown May Inside Xbox show like we did last month, I suspect reactions might have been different.
Yeah.
Clearly, we set some wrong expectations, and that's on us. We appreciate all the feedback and can assure you we will take it all in and learn as a team. So if they hadn't have built it up as anything and just released it as is, probably it would have been a lot different discussions. People would have been praising it. And I think that's true.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Enough on that. Thanks again to Ben over on Patreon. Guys, if you want to get involved in the show, please head over there. All right. Now, last episode, Fox, we did a prediction bet, part of our betting segment. Now, unfortunately, when we filmed that episode, we were not planning on doing 2 episodes per month, but we have changed.
Sorry, guys.
In case you guys haven't noticed, we're going to be trying to get it, well, not trying, we're going to get 2 episodes out per month. And still with the end goal, hopefully, of doing 1 per week. I do want to do that eventually. But it's a lot of work getting these things ready, believe it or not.
Oh, yeah. Baby steps.
Okay, so we can't actually give the results on our last bet from the last episode because that bet was that Man-Eater, which comes out on May 22nd. What is the Metacritic score going to be when we record after it releases? Now, as a reminder, I believe mine was 47, yours was 50-something.
Yeah, I don't remember off the top. I've got the paper somewhere, but...
Okay, I don't have that in front of me, but we'll tally that up eventually. Now, we are going to have another bet now, though. Okay, so Minecraft Dungeons, we talked about that earlier. It's releasing on May 26th. At the time of our next recording, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go live. I'm going to look up Twitch and I'm going to find out how many viewers it has as we record the next episode.
So are we doing this on day one when Minecraft Dungeons gets released, or?
No, it's when we record, which will be, it'll be still in its first week. It'll be when we record the next episode, will be right at the end of May, and this comes out on the 26th of May.
Okay, all right.
It'll be inside May, so it'll be inside 3 or 4 days old.
All right.
You ready?
Yep, ready.
Go.
All right, hold on. I'm just trying to get. Oh, okay. That's a lot lower. Oh, wait, is it reversed?
No.
35K.
No. I can read that. 35K for you. 150 for me. I'm banking on a lot of the big Minecraft streamers.
They're going to come back to Minecraft for this 1 week.
Well, I'm thinking the Minecraft streamers are going to try this out. And if they've got these big audiences, that they're going to come and watch them play Minecraft Dungeons. Maybe they'll be done with it by the time we record the episode. That's the whole point of the bet. Bit of fun. So at least you're on the very low side. Well, on the low side, and you get anything under that as well. I'm definitely on the high side. We'll see what happens. And guys, that brings us to the end of episode 2 of the Achievement College podcast. I'm pretty excited that we're doing this, Fox. I think it's going well so far. I want to say
thanks for having me on the show again.
No worries at all. Thank you for being my co-host. I want to say a big thank you to everyone for supporting the first episode and for making it possible for us to do this second episode. I'm looking forward to many more with you as well, Fox. Anything you want to plug on the way out?
I guess my Twitch channel, which the link's just right below me. I guess that's it.
It is right there. Go check him out on
And also
Twitch,
don't forget to check out
guys.
Aussie Gamer as well. Wait, hold on. I can't see which.
Other way.
I'm really bad at this.
Other way.
Oh, wait.
No.
I'm so bad at this.
Yeah, you were pointing off to the edge of the screen, so
Oh.
don't worry, it's all good, guys. Please check out more of my videos on YouTube. What will be happening, probably by the time you see this, is I'm about to, later on tonight, actually my time, there's a big Summer Games Fest special showcase, they're calling it. That is happening in just a couple of hours, so I'm going to record some live reactions for that. So make sure you check out my video for that on the channel if you haven't already caught me over on Twitch. And of course, come and see me streaming some Final Fantasy IX on Twitch as well, guys. That's about it. Thanks again, Fox, for the show. Hope you have a great night, and I will talk to you later. And thanks for watching, everyone. See you next time.
Peace out, guys.